What makes what you do so fascinating?
I think what I enjoy most is really seeing the transformation and not just the physical. I mean, obviously, I think there's a part of me that finds it rewarding to see the positive changes that I've made from a structural perspective for somebody. But what's truly meaningful, and I think really what motivates me and drives me, gets me excited about coming to work, is seeing the change that makes in somebody's life, and really the transformations from an emotional level. I think a lot of times people are, reached a point where they feel they're looking their age, they're looking older than their age, they look tired, and they really aren't feeling like they look how they feel on the inside. And seeing them have that rejuvenated confidence and self-esteem, and really the impact that has it's really pretty amazing. It's kind of cool because when you have somebody come in after they've had a procedure and you don't even have to ask them if they're happy with the results. I mean, they walk in and they've got their makeup done, and there's a little more of a little spring in the step, a little confidence in their carriage that just shows that self-esteem and that confidence really is coming through. And that really means a lot for me.
And that's one of the benefits, one of the many benefits that you get when someone comes into your office to see you. Can you touch on some more benefits? Because there are so many great benefits to getting plastic surgery.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that really isn't fully appreciated. I think there's a lot of tendency to still think of it as vanity or purely appearance, and I think a lot of patients have difficulty giving themselves permission to do something like this because of that. I think a lot of women in particular are used to always being the caregivers, and there's an element of guilt perhaps about doing something solely focused on them. But the benefits are significant. I think we all can recognize and acknowledge that the boost to the self-esteem and confidence that can give a person. But there have been scientific studies that show that the impact is more significant than that. It can impact depression, it can impact your relationships, it can impact your success and your finances in the long term, because confidence and projecting confidence really impacts how you're perceived by other people and the world, and ultimately impacts your success in it.
And you talking about that, the confidence, what is, if you think about some of your former clients and patients, what success story sticks out to you?
Well, one of my favorite stories that I thought was pretty amazing. I had a patient, and we'd done kind of an aging face procedure on her, and she'd had a really wonderful outcome. And she was going through TSA, and she got pulled aside for a second stage of security because they didn't believe it was her in her driver's license picture. And she, rather than being annoyed, was actually very pleased with that outcome. I was a little proud of myself, so because she did look great. So there are lots of little stories like that, but I think very often just the person recognizing themselves again. I've had patients come back, and I remember one in particular, and she brought me pictures of her when she was in her 30s, and she's like, I've got that contour back again. I've got that defined jawline again. I had a patient recently who I did a brow lift and upper eyes on, and I hadn't even really noticed how beautiful her eyes were, and I came in for her follow-up, and just immediately struck me. I mean, she had these huge, beautiful blue eyes that had been kind of partially obscured, and first thing I said to her was, gosh, you got beautiful eyes. And she said, it is so funny that you say that, because everybody's telling me that now. And she's like, I had forgotten that I used to always get compliments on my eyes. People just stopped saying it at some point. Now they're saying it again. And it's amazing how that makes people feel.